Hey everyone, Hugh from Plaguelands Media here, bringing you something a little bit different today. So, as a lot of you know, if you've been watching the videos, some good friends of mine, Ian and Luke, and I have been playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition most Sunday nights for a couple of hours. We have the game sessions running. And it kind of got me to thinking about a lot of the other game systems that I have, maybe some of the more obscure role-playing games that some of you might not have heard of. And I thought I might do just a quick video kind of showcasing some of these. The first one, of course, I want to start with is Dragon Warriors, a game by Dave Morris and Oliver Johnson. Now, this game is incredibly near and dear to my heart for a very simple reason. This was quite literally the very first RPG rule system that I ever learned. Now, this is the reprinted version. This game originally came out in 1986. And it wasn't sold as a source book that kind of looks like this, but it came out in these little paperback editions. And my brother actually collected these, and I would sneak in and read them without him actually knowing about it, hopefully. Now, Dave Morris has basically said that it was because of Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone's Fighting Fantasy series that Dragon Warriors got released the way that it did. It proved that role-playing games could go into a bookstore, although, to be fair, my brother actually bought his versions from a newsagent. Now, there were, I believe, 6 books, and each of these paperback books dealt with a new character class group. The first book was Knights and Barbarians, then the second book was Mystics and Sorcerers. The third book is actually a campaign called the Elven Crystals, so this is like a giant adventure with some great, I mean, look at that maps. These are just so nostalgic. The art is just really gorgeous. The fourth book was Assassins. The fifth book, which my brother didn't actually have, was Elementalists. And the sixth book was Warlocks, but delved into the actual bigger world of Dragon Warriors, the world that they call Legend. So this is the reprinted version. I thought I would just quickly go over it with you, explain some of the rules, why I actually enjoy this so much. This is an incredibly simplistic role-playing game. There's really not a lot to this. So I think it might be good to get beginners into it. So we kind of have the introduction, what is fantasy role-playing, the dice, of course, how to create a character. There's a beautiful map at the beginning of the lands of legend, where you have the desert down here. Ella's land, this is where the Elven Crystals is set. So really great kind of old school maps. So character sheet, really basic. If anyone's familiar with role-playing games, you got your strength, reflexes, intelligent, psychic talent, and looks, your health. Just a really simple little kind of character sheet there. These days, character sheets tend to go over 2, maybe 3 pages. Then you got all your combat factors and all that kind of stuff. One problem I do have with this book is the chapters jump around a lot. Now, the first 2 character classes you can be knights or barbarians. Now, here is where the simplicity comes into it. When you create your character at level 1, you have, as a knight, you have track, armor expert, and ride a warhorse. They're the only 3 skills you get. You don't get any more skills until you reach level 8, or rank 8. It's called ranks in this. When you reach rank 8, you can start to pick kind of new skills. The barbarian, he gets track, berserk, and ride warhorse, and when he reaches rank 8, he gets blood rage. And that's it. That's all the skills that he is ever going to get or she in the game. Then we have wizards. We have sorcerers, which are basically, your wizards. But this game kind of works off magic points. So if you have 4 magic points and you cast a rank 4 spell, you lose 4 magic points and that's it. You can't cast any more spells for the rest of the day. So it's very limiting. Sorcerers are powerful but easily weakened, which is kind of cool. Mystics, they're kind of like your cleric / psychic, and they suffer from psychic fatigue. So they might cast a spell and it might drain them, and then they can't cast any more spells for the rest of the day. Elementalists, magic points. You have earth, air, fire, water, and darkness as an element. And warlocks are your kind of warrior wizards. They can cast spells and use weapons as well. And then you have your assassins, which in my opinion are the most overpowered class in the game because of the sheer amount of abilities they actually get. They're a lot of fun though. Really kind of cool. So there are your classes. That's it. That's all you have to choose from. Then we go into kind of creating a background for your character. Basic adventuring stuff. This was one thing I used to love about Dragon Warriors. They used to use comics to kind of explain the rules system, which is pretty cool. Now, combat. Combat is really, really simple. You have an attack. The opponent has a defense. You subtract their defense from your attack. You roll a 20-sided dice, and you have to get under that number. Really, really simple. So, yep. And then the armor bypass roll. So if you manage to hit, then you make an armor bypass roll. So each armor has an armor factor, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have plate armor, of course, 5. Mail armor is 4. Mail hauberk is 3. Padded armor is 2. Gambeson is 1. And then you roll whatever dice your weapon says. So, for example, a short sword is 1d8. That is the dice you roll to bypass the armor. You've got to get over the armor factor. So let's say a person with a short sword is attacking someone wearing padded armor. They roll a d8 and they have to get over 2. If they get over 2, they do the amount of damage which is set for each weapon. Short sword in this case is 3. If they get under 2, then the armor has blocked. And that's combat. There are other things you can do like evasion and things like that. Missile weapons. Now we have another comic book. Here we have magic. Shows you how many magic points per rank the sorcerer gets. 4, 8, 12, 15, 19, 25, 28, 29, and at rank 10, 35. And every rank after 10, they get 4 extra magic points. So a first level sorcerer, kind of pretty useless. You can really only cast 4 spells, but then it kind of goes up as you go. And then the mystic, when they cast a spell, it's 13 plus their rank minus the spell's level on a 20-sided dice, and they have to get under. So if you're a rank 1 mystic casting a rank 1 spell, 13 plus 1 minus 1, and they have to roll under 13 on a d20. A roll of 20 is always a miss in combat, and it's always psychic fatigue for the mystic. And then you have the warlock, and then you have the book of spells. So these are all the spells that you can cast. Compared to a game like Dungeons and Dragons, which has been around for maybe a couple of decade or so longer, there aren't a lot, but these spells are pretty cool. And it shows you how many magic points. Spell expiry rolls, so you can cast a spell and just leave it on, and it will eventually go out on its own. I believe you roll a 20-sided dice, and on a 1 or 2, the spell goes away. But you can cancel it and get half of your magic points back, if that's something that you want to do. So there's sorcerer spells, mystic spells, elementalist spells, and warlock spells. So each class has their own kind of spell list. Then, of course, games mastering, hints, treasures, rewards, renowned, magic items, which were introduced in the second book. Artifacts were introduced in book 6. These are like the really powerful ones. I used to love reading just the lore behind these. Chapter 14 is the Lands of Legend, so you get like the whole kind of overworld atlas. There's some really great descriptions here. The lore of legends, so you get some of the myths and things. Languages, how to live in the world, crime and punishment, the calendar, just your basic RPG stuff. And yeah, but what is great, so there's really a lot of information that was kind of spread out over 6 books. But what's really great about this, and I love it when role-playing games do this, it comes with a scenario in it. The Darkness Before Dawn, an introductory scenario for 4 to 6 first-rank characters. Each of the books came with a scenario in it. I believe the second one actually came with 2. So it was really great to kind of see this in here. And it's actually a pretty decent scenario that would make a good kind of campaign starter. And then you have Monsters of Legend, which is just all your kind of creatures and stuff. And then the character sheet. So that's Dragon Warriors. It's a pretty decent game. Pretty fun. They do have supplements for it. They actually released this in the kind of newer edition. We also have the Bestiary, which just has all the monsters in it, which gives you the stats for the monsters. Now, experience in this game is really, really simple. Whatever rank the creature is that you kill, that's how much experience points you get. So, for example, the Cloud Spider, rank equivalent 16, so you would get 16 experience for killing that. Giant Beetle, rank equivalent 6, so you'd get 6 experience for killing a Giant Beetle. There's not enough pictures in this book, is my biggest complaint. If you take a look at the Dungeons & Dragons monster manual, like each monster is has art that goes with it, but this, not so much. So that's monsters from the Land of Legend. That's pretty cool. I also have Prince of Darkness. So this is 2 things. This is a source book for the Lands of Glissom. And this is also a kind of high-level mini-campaign. So you get kind of the history of the Fief of Glissom. City there, a nice map. And then adventure hooks, how to get your characters to the city, what sort of adventures they can go on. And then you have the Prince of Darkness, which is an absolutely brutal campaign. Like, even if I was running this, I don't think characters would actually be able to survive it without a lot of luck. It's really kind of deadly. And that's one of the things I like about this game, is that it is actually so deadly. Like, magic items in Dragon Warriors are very scarce to come by. And when you do get like magic items, they are kind of pretty powerful. One other thing is mystics and sorcerers and warlocks, you can actually craft your own magic items, but it takes like 100 days, and then you have to make a percentage roll, and there's like a 96% chance it's not going to work and crap like this. It really is a brutal game, but one that I think is full of potential if the players and games master can get over the fact that the rules are a little simplistic. Remembering this came out in 1986 as a series of paperback books. I'm not going to fault it for the simplistic nature of the rules. Like I said, this game has a really tender place in my heart, and I absolutely love the rule system, and I love the setting and everything. But I don't think a lot of you would have ever heard of this, and hopefully now, if you are interested in something along these lines, you can go check it out. I'm pretty sure you can still pick it up. They've probably released more source books by now. I haven't actually checked in a long time. So this is Dragon Warriors by Dave Morris and Oliver Johnson, originally released in 1986. This has been a Plaguelands Media RPG review. I hope you enjoy it. I look forward to doing more in the future. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the next video.